Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically, a good race for first-time victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the very first time right here. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Piastri, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Sainz, Gasly, Tsunoda, Russell, and Jack Doohan. Behrman, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, and Antonelli, Lawson, Albon, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Isaac Hadjar. Hughes and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Gruffy. It's probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Mic on.
Fala aí, meus amigos. Voltamos aqui então com Fórmula 1 2025. Agora com um setup completamente novo, né? Eu tive alguns problemas, tive que trocar a placa de vídeo, quebrou o vidro do gabinete, então eu tive que trocar o gabinete, ficamos fora ali por um tempo, mas voltamos. Viemos aqui com aquele velho briefing dos qualifyings, né? Nosso carro trouxe atualizações até Spa, na verdade a gente teve um pacote de atualização um pouco antes de Spa. Em Spa, de fato, veio o pacote completo, né? Porém, nós éramos a única equipe que possuía o pacote de atualização ali em Spa. Agora, todo mundo atualizou, nós ficamos para trás novamente, então caímos na realidade. Aqui é o nosso lugar novamente, quando todo mundo atualiza os carros, né? Tomei 3 segundos na Hungria, do Max Verstappen ali, o melhor tempo foi dele, né, de primeiro colocado, a gente tomou quase 3 segundos pro cara. O nosso carro em pistas, como Hungria, é muito ruim, a gente tem um chassi que é bem fraco ali, então para pistas onde a gente tem mais velocidades baixas, o carro é bem instável, a gente tem muita saída de traseira. Eu fiquei 3 treinos livres tentando arrumar o setup, o carro não ficou direitinho, ainda talvez teria alguma forma de arrumar ele. Eu não quis ficar perdendo muito tempo ali com o treino livre. Viemos pro Qualifying. No Qualifying também o carro saía, escapava muito de traseira. Isso que eu fiz ainda alguns ajustes no Qualifying. Mas é isso. Voltamos aonde a gente realmente deveria estar. Spa não deveria ter sido vitória. Até comentei com alguns amigos meus no Discord que aquilo ali não foi considerado vitória. O dive que eu dei no Charles Leclerc no final da reta foi bem irresponsável, aquilo ali geraria uma punição de no mínimo 10 segundos, então vamos pra cá, vamos tentar ver o que a gente consegue fazer. Não vencemos, vamos pôr na cabeça que não vencemos ali nessa temporada, vamos contar que aquela disputa com o Charles Leclerc foi um P2, tá? Inclusive até fiquei olhando ali, eu deveria ter deixado ele passar e ganhar a corrida, né? E mesmo que eu tivesse com danos ali, eu ia conseguir chegar em segundo, porque a gente tava muito rápido, o terceiro tava muito atrás da gente. Mas é isso, pessoal. Voltamos à estaca da onde a gente nunca deveria ter saído. O Bortoleto também tá saindo ali de 17º. Só estamos saindo de 19º porque o Ocon tomou punição. E é isso, vamos pra corrida, vamos ver o que a gente consegue fazer. E boa corrida pra vocês.
Mic off.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
That start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Expecting. We've got a new strategy available on your MFD if you want it. Confirmed. Okay, gap to the car in front, 4.6 seconds. Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Radar suggests some weather's going to hit in around 5 minutes' time, so stay on your toes. approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Okay, we're currently at the back. That's last place. Okay, hatches ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead, 11.1 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres, and your pit window opens in 2 laps time. Okay, 17 laps to go now. And gap to the car in front, 12.2 seconds. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Systems all looking good, head down. Okay mate, we've got some clear track in front of us and let's make the best of it. So please make this next one a very fast lap. Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap, box this lap. Don't forget, box this lap. Okay, forget the targets for now. We've got to focus on the pit stop. Okay, off we go, back into the race. That stop wasn't great, we've lost some time there. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. so gap to the car ahead, 43.5 seconds. Okay, mate. Right, we've got a full battery, which means we can use more of it to gain performance. Let's go. Understood. Stopping this lap. Yellow flag. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. Okay, clear. Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Okay, conditions are going to keep deteriorating for 10 minutes at least. Don't forget, you've got more control than ever over your EOS mode, so play around with them in your MFD. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 52.9 seconds. Wasn't quite what we needed, I'm afraid, but listen, don't worry about it, it's a long way to go, so let's just focus until the end. Gabriel coming in for his stop now. Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Okay, so all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading 0. Assuming they still look inflated to you, we're going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about. Okay, the stewards have now disabled DRS. DRS is now disabled. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 37.3 seconds. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 26.7 seconds. Okay, mate, tyres are wearing at quite a rate here, mate. Please try and look after them. Weather. We're watching the amount of standing water on the road, and for now we think it's safe to stay with the Inter. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, gap ahead, 37.7 seconds. Okay, Gabrielle's in the pits. Gabrielle is in the pits now. Might be worth thinking about putting a set of full wets on. We've seen a few teams change over already. Blue flag, blue flag. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And as we've said so many times in the past, the checkered flag is out for our winner, Lewis Hamilton.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits. It's a familiar sight in Formula One, and here it is once again. Lewis Hamilton with the trophy held high, celebrating a masterful victory. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Mic on.
Então é isso, pessoal. Ainda tomamos uma volta ali do Lewis Hamilton. Vocês viram, o carro tava praticamente inguiável, tava muito difícil de manter ele na pista. Ainda assim eu fiz 1.22, né? Não foi uma boa volta. Fizemos uma volta até melhor que a do Radiar. Provavelmente ele teve mais consistência do que eu. Saímos de 19º, ficamos em 19º, porque o Yuki Tsunoda fez a boa pra nós, né? Bateu o carro. Mas como vocês viram ali, muito difícil, estava complicado de guiar o carro. O Bortoleto fez 2 paradas, eu fiz 2 paradas. Começou a chover muito forte. O carro que já não estava bom no começo até da chuva, eu até achei estranho que o carro ficou bem mais na mão do que quando estava em pista seca. Mas infelizmente foi isso, do céu ao inferno, literalmente em um final de semana. Pessoal, desculpem por essa pilotagem ali, né? Não tive o que fazer, infelizmente. Eu prometo trazer algo melhor. Não vou prometer, né, também, porque não é só de mim que depende também do carro. Mas vou tentar trazer melhor na próxima corrida. Obrigado aos que ficaram até o final aí dessa corrida esquisita. Valeu aí, tamo junto, qualquer coisa, deixa o like, comentem ali o que vocês acharam e tamo junto. Valeu!
Mic off.